Good morning, children. Now we are going to move forward in our chapter, and our topic today will be the Nazi worldwide. So, here we are going to read the crimes that Nazi committed were linked to a system of belief and a set of practices. Nazi ideology was synonymous with Hitler's worldview. According to this, there was no equality between the people but only a racial hierarchy. Okay, so what was the Nazi ideology? This Hitler views, and the Nazi ideology means those people who believed in the thinking of the Hitler, those are called as Nazis. So they just used to think that there is no equality between the peoples and there is only the racial difference. And this racial difference, they considered only the Nordic Aryan race as the pure race, and the rest are not uh, good to be considered as fit to live. Okay, so these people who are not fit to live, or they can spoil the this Nordic Aryan Germans. So what they did, they killed all such kind of peoples, because that was the final solution according to Hitler. So here, according to this, there was no equality between the people, but it is a racial hierarchy. Hierarchy means when you consider the people as upper or lower section according to their race, means to which race class they belong. So here, in the this view, the blonde, blue-eyed Nordic German Aryans. So this Nordic German Aryans is the race which was considered as the pure by Hitler or Nazis. Okay, so these were at the top. This thing was at the top level, while Jews who used to stay over there were located in the lowest rung. Now, these Jews are considered as the lowest race and they were not fit to live. Okay, this was the thinking of those Nazis. Now, here they can be they came to be regarded as the anti-race and arch enemies of the Aryans. Now these Jews are considered as the enemies of the Aryans, as they brought some differences between them. Suppose if an Aryan, Nordic Aryan is marrying to a Jew, then it can spoil that purity of that race. So here they were just like enemies to these Aryans. All other colored people were placed in between, depending upon their external features. Now they used to look at the features of the people, just like Jews are having a long nose like this, somehow like this, like a number six. So they used to say that this type of Jews, they used to identify the people, that who is Jewish and who is not, on the basis of the features. Now Hitler racism borrowed from thinkers like Charles Darwin and Herbert Spencer. Now Darwin's theory was Darwin was a natural scientist who tried to explain the creation of plants and animals through the concept of evolution and natural selection. So Charles Darwin gave the evolution theory that it is according to the nature that a human develops himself. Okay, so this was according to him, and it will be the pure selection of the nature, that who is going to survive and who is not going to survive. Okay, so according to him, the nature is going to decide that. Okay, now Spencer later added this idea of the survival of the fittest. Now, this Herbert Spencer, he told that the idea of the fittest of the survival means that only that creature who will be living and he will be fighting against all the odds would be able to survive, and the rest will not be able to survive. So according to him, only the fittest or the strongest would be able to live, and all those who are weak will be eliminated automatically according to the nature. Okay, so here definitely, according to Spencer, the strongest will kill the weakest. So this was his theory. According to this idea, only those species survived on the earth which could adapt themselves to the changing climatic conditions. Now, according to them, if the climatic conditions are changing, then some will perish and some will live or survive. So those who are surviving, they are the pure ones. So according to these Germans, these Nazis, who were the fittest of all, Nordic German Aryans, and rest races were kept at the lower section, that they are not fit. to live. Just like some niggers were also there, so they were also there, so they will also be killed because they don't consider them as the fittest. So like gypsies, Jews, all these black peoples, and even if anybody was weak, then he will be killed too. So this was the kind of thing that they were just trying to make a very strong nation, and according to them, this Nordic Aryan German race was the best one or the pure one, and rest they don't deserve. So they were just making space for this Nordic German Aryans. Now for that they were killing the other races. Now here we should bear in mind that Darwin never advocated the human intervention in what he thought was purely natural process of selection. So here when Darwin said that it is a process, a natural process of selection and nature is going to decide. However, these ideas were used by the racist thinkers. All these Nazis were the racist thinker and politician to justify imperial rule over conquered peoples. Okay, now what they wanted to do, now they are using this theory of Darwin and Spencer, and they are just going to eliminate these peoples who they considered as unfit. So whoever is conquered, like if they are the best one, so they have been conquering over the uh, people who are of other races, so they were just eliminating them. Now the Nazis argument was simple: the strongest race would survive. Now here is very clearly it is written that the strongest race would survive and the weak one will perish. Now here this Nazis, they are interfering here, and they are going to decide that who is going to live and who is not. So only the strongest race would survive and the weak one will be perished. Now they are using this theory in another way. The Iron race was the finest. It had to retain its purity, become stronger, and dominate the world. Now, what they wanted this Aryan race because they are the fittest, and they wanted that to retain their purity. Means they don't want any other caste to marry this Aryan race. So there should be maintenance of the purity of this caste. Suppose if a nigger is marrying an Aryan, then the children will not be of pure race. So this is something which not be accepted. So at that time, it was been told that nobody is going to marry into other race. If find, then it will be a severe punishment for them. Now, the other aspect of the Hitler ideology related to the geoponting concept of liberalism or living space. Now, this liberalism or living space, he believed that the new territory had to be acquired for the settlement. So he thought that when these German people are going to come, so where they are going to live, so they will have to make a space for them so that they can come and they will be settling at some places. So that's why they were just taking out these all odd races outside and they were settling the German race over there. Now he believed that the new territories had to be acquired. So what they wanted, some new areas of land they wanted to just fix these people who will be migrating from other places. So they will be sending in just planning for their settlement at some place. Now this would enhance the area of the mother country, while enabling the settler on the new land to retain an intimate link with the place of their origin. So, according to Hitler, the place of the origin where this Germany belongs to the Germans. So, they were just bringing on these people who were of pure race and they were just settling them at one place. Now, new lands to retain an intimate link with the place of their origin means they belong to their mother country or their own motherland. So this will be the race, and everybody will be loyal to their to this country because everybody of the single is going to be of a single race. So then will be there will be no problem because everybody will be pure according to Hitler, and no problem will be there, and they will be able to make a very strong nation by the help of this pure race which they consider as the most powerful. So they wanted to make Germany as a great power. So it would also enhance the material resources and power of German nation. So what happens, see, when you make this Hitler wanted to make Germany a very strong nation. So he was also thinking about expanding this territories and using the resources of all those places which will be conquered by him. So by that they will be able to use those resources and grow strong in the world. By using this they can use the resources like iron and all to make all this war goods and all, so this will make them strong. Also the industrialization was according, like they were making cars, and also for that also iron was required. So these resources will be very helpful in making Germany a strong nation. So that's why Hitler wanted to acquire many territories. Now Hitler intended to extend German boundaries by moving eastwards to concentrate all Germans geographically in one place. Poland became the laboratory for this experiment. Now what happened? Poland was being captured by this Germany, and they were just trying to bring all the German at one place, and they were eliminating this Polish people from the Poland, because when they attacked on the Poland, they just sent off all those people from there and made space for this German peoples to settle at those places. Now, establishment of the racial state. Now, once in power, the Nazi quickly began to implement their dream. So this next topic will be related to the racial state. What was the condition of the racial state over there? So when these Nazis began to implement their dream of creating racial community of pure Germans by physically eliminating all those who were seen undesirable in the extended empire. Now when these people were controlling the other areas, when they captured the new parts, what they did, the existing people were been sent off from there or either killed. They were just making space for this German people. So they have started implementing their dream. Okay, they started to bring their dream into reality. Here only only the pure German race will be living over there, and they will eliminate all those who are considered as undesirable. Undesirable means those who do not belong to the Nordic Aryans race, so they will be eliminated or killed by them, because this was the final solution by the Hitler, that if you want to make a good nation, then you will have to check this population first. All these kind of weak people should be eliminated and only the strong people should be there in your country, then you can get the success. This was the ideology of this Hitler. Now Nazis wanted only a society of pure and healthy Nordic Aryans. So I already told you that they just wanted this healthy Nordic Aryan race. They alone was considered as desirable. So these were the only one who they called desirable and the fittest to live. Only they were seen as worthy of prospering and multiplying against others who were classed as undesirable. So they wanted them to grow in numbers, multiply, and all these undesirable desirable should not prosper. Means all the wealth of the other peoples, like who are not fit but still they are having wealth, or some other peoples who are having property but they are not of Nordic Aryan race. So what they used to do, they are going to take all the wealth from them, and they are going to make the this German class the prosperous by taking the wealth of the others. So when these people were being sent, they make sure that all the wealth should be taken away from them, and then they'll be sending them to the concentration camp and ghettos. We'll be learning it about some time. All this, what was ghettos and what are these concentration camps. Now this meant that even those Germans who were seen as impure and abnormal had no right to exist. Now suppose any German person was there but he is lame, he cannot walk properly. So even that person who is not mentally fit or physically disabled, so these people are, according to them, these people have no right to live because they are weak. So if anybody is weak, in spite of he's in Germany and he's a German, then also that person will be sent to the camps and they will be executed. because there is no need for the weakest according to him. So they are just following this theory of Charles Darwin and this Spencer, and according to those people, it should have been done according to the as per the selection of the nature. But here they are all these things are being done by the interference of these humans, called as the Nazis. Now they are interfering, so they are taking it in a other way. They are doing all this racial discrimination and creating or doing this all this crime against humanity. Now, under the euthanasia program, Helmut's father, along with the other Nazi official, has condemned to death many Germans who were considered mentally or physically unfit. Now, in the beginning of this chapter, we went to the topic of this story. Like Helmut's father was about to shoot himself, and he also wanted to kill the child and mother, that they should consume poison. And what was the reason because of that? Because this father of Helmut, this boy Helmut, he was of Nazi ideology. So what he did, what crime he has done, he killed many such kind of Jews and different races, and who are not physically and mentally fit. So here they're talking about that Helmut's father, along with other Nazi official, had condemned to that many Germans who were considered like that mentally or physically fit. So this father of Helmut killed many peoples because it was the final solution according to them, and it was the right thing to do. So they were not thinking that they are doing anything wrong, because they were doing right according to them. They were doing absolutely right. They were making a good nation, a strong nation. Now, Jews were not the only community classified as undesirable. There was another many gypsies, blacks living in the Nazi Germany were considered as racial inferiors. Now, Jews are killed in a very large number, but they are not the only one. Gypsies were there who were killed, black peoples were there who were killed, and they are considered as the racial inferiors. So they are not suitable to live. So they are considered racial inferiors. Inferior means a cheap kind of person who is not fit to live, who threatened the biological purity of the superior Aryan race. So they were just like a threat that they can spoil the superior Aryan race. So they don't deserve to live. They were widely persecuted. Even Russians and Poles were considered subhuman and hence undeserving of any humanity. When Germany occupied Poland and parts of Russia, captured civilians were forced to work as a slave labor. Many of them died simply through hard work and this starvation. So all these superior and this, so everybody was who was unfit, all they were killed. Even the Russians and the Poles, all these were Russians and Poles, means the Poles are the people who live in Poland. So when they occupied these spaces, so what they found that all these people, Russian and Poles, they are subhuman and they don't deserve to live. So the occupied parts of this Russian Poland and the peoples who were captured from there, what they did with such kind of people, they made them slave laborers. Means they were sent to the concentration camps and they were working like a labor. Even they were working in some factories, so they will be used over there as well for making some parts or nut bolts or war goods, something like that. So many of them simply died because they were not getting any kind of food, and because of extremely hard work and starvation, because they are not getting, they starved because they were not getting any kind of proper food over that, and they had to work very hard. This led to weakness and they got themselves killed. Now Jews remained the worst sufferer in the Nazis Germany. So what, the Jews were the one who suffered the most. The Nazi hatred for the Jews had a precursor in the Indian traditional Christianity hostility towards the Jews. There have been stereotyped as killer of Christ and Asuras. Now they considered these Jews as the killer of the Christ. They thought that the Jesus Christ was killed because of this Jewish people. So this Hitler was very angry on such kind of Jewish people, and he was just taking out his frustration in some way or the other. Okay, so all these things were according to Hitler was right. So these Jews suffered a lot, and they were simply killed without any reason. Now, until medieval times, Jews were barred from owning land. They maintained mainly through the trade and money lending. So Jews were barred, means they were thrown out of their land, and they were simply doing some trade and money lending processes. By that they have to live, and they earned some money. They lived in separate marked areas called ghettos. Now they will be sent in a place which is called as ghettos. Now it is a kind of separate place, because for them it will be kind of separation from the pure race, and there they are going to live their life. So ghetto is a place where they will be killed. Now they were often persecuted through periodic organized violence and expulsion from the land. However, Hitler's hatred for Jews was based on pseudoscientific theories of race, which held the conservation was no solution to the Jewish problem. It could be solved only through their total elimination. Now what Hitler has to think about the Jewish, that if this race is not proper, they should be killed, and if they are want to get converted into some other caste, so that cannot change the thing, that race cannot be changed. If you, even if you get concerned or just change your religion, so that was not the solution. Still the race cannot be changed. So what Hitler thought, that anyhow they need to be eliminated from this world only, then only it will be better. So this was the pseudo-scientific theory of race according to the Hitler. It was according to the thinking that this race is not pure, the other race is not pure. And see, according to us, this is not the condition, that we cannot decide that which race is better and which is not. So it is all are we all are God creation, and everybody needs to survive. But the thinking of Hitler was something else. So he was very harsh on this race thing. And according to him, what was the solution? That this conversion of these Jews are not the solution. It was only be solved through their total elimination. So he wanted to eliminate all the Jews. Now, from 1932 to 1938, the Nazi terrorists the populism and segregated the Jews, compelling them to leave the country. The next phase, 1939 to 1945, this was at World War II time, armed at concentrating them in certain area and eventually killing them in the gas chamber in Poland. Now what happened? This Nazis just terrorized these people, and they pauperized. Pauperized means they were take all the wealth was taken away from them when they forced to leave the country. So all this wealth was gone now. So they were absolutely poor, and after that they were sent at this concentration camp, and then there was some gas chambers where all this kind of people will be sent, and there will be mass killing by some scientific method, like releasing this poisonous gas, and everybody will be killed at once. So there is no need to waste this guns or bullets on them. It will be done by the gas, and all will happen inside a gas chamber. Okay, so this is all for today. Thank you.